I mean, speaking of Trump, what seems like ancient news now, the Trump assassination attempt we haven't touched on. What were your thoughts as that news broke and you watched that unfold?
So it's interesting because I was actually in the UK then. So I woke up early morning the next day and it's like, oh no, what just happened? And I spent about 2 hours like consuming as much news as possible. But what I said to the media who asked me was, you look at all the recent assassination attempts on presidential candidates, and so obviously, John F. Kennedy is the most famous in 1963. Of course, his brother Robert Kennedy in '68. I would put Martin Luther King in there too, because even though it was civil rights and he wasn't a candidate, clearly that was a highly charged political era. Of course, you've got Ford, two of them in 1975, only a few weeks apart. And then most recently, you've got President Reagan in 1981. And another one I'd throw in there probably is George Wallace of 72. Not a major candidate, but still, happened during the midst of a race, and it changed the outcome
Still
of the
political
race.
violence.
Exactly. And so I think that, where I come down is out of all those, you put all those together, the attempt on Trump did the least to stop his campaign and probably the most to invigorate it. I think there's so little that we know about the circumstances of the shooter. How could you be a registered Republican if you never voted in a campaign before? Certainly, he didn't vote for Trump. And so there's a lot I think we're going to find out yet about the motives of this shooter. But the fact is, he's done the most to boost Trump. And the timing of that coming on the eve of the convention united Republicans in a way that, I remember 2016 in Cleveland, and Trump came in and his entourage came in, and it's sort of like, who are these people? These aren't normal Republicans. They talk differently, their messaging is different. But it's sort of like, they went going along reluctantly with this new Trump phenomenon, but they were really outsiders. But they have moved from the outside to the inside now. And that lasting image of the close of the convention of Trump's whole family, even Ivanka and Jared and others who have been on the sidelines so far of the campaign, the former first lady, I think, that image is really what spelled fear for a lot of Democrats. Trump inviting his granddaughter, who's 17, to speak at the convention. You realize this is a big entourage, almost like a Kennedy clan. They're young,
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. I think the Trumps are the new Republican version of the Kennedys.
they're politically motivated. I mean, as long as you can hold their interest, and when they get tired of it, they'll go back to business, and building buildings. But I think that is the biggest shot across the bow for Democrats: is this is what your opposition has. What do you have?
Yeah, exactly. There's sort of political royalty now within the Republican Party. It's so funny how within 8 years, you're right, they came in 2016 as outsiders. Who is this guy? He's all flamboyant and pompous and talks crazy, has mean tweets, and now the Republican Party is completely unified behind him. It's crazy.